We've heard thousands of stories.
Thanks for your patience when you met us at 2:30 in the morning in the emergency room.
I adopted 2 babies from your adoption center. Randy and Sandy are now 4 years old.
I am quite sure that without your knowledge and expertise, my dog would no longer be with me.
Some stories are sad, some are hopeful, all of them are true. At the MSPCA, we don't consider pets a part of our lives. We consider them a part of our family. And like you, we've made a promise to do everything in our power to make sure the 75,000 animals that visit our medical center and 250,000 animals we care for directly each year are well cared for and safe, no matter what their story may be.
My name is Erin O'Brien. I'm the manager of the Equine and Farm Animal Care and Adoption Centers for the MSPCA at Nevins Farm. This location is unique because we house a small animal shelter as well as the only equine shelter and farm animal shelter or care and adoption center for the organization.
My name is Frank Martin, and I'm a Special State Police Officer for the Mass SPCA's Law Enforcement Department. We got a call from a private party on the phone that there were horses in a certain area that were in trouble. They didn't have proper shelter. They were standing in muck, and some of them didn't look well. And when the officers got there, they found the conditions that these animals were being kept in was totally unacceptable. And that's when we called our farm in Methuen to send the trailers out so that we could have remove the animals from the property.
When they got here, we were pretty worried about them. It was clear that they needed to come to a safer place and a place where they could regain health. One of the bigger challenges was that there were 17 of them all at once, so that was a big challenge for the staff here. I can only speculate as to what would have happened had we not taken them that day, but given that I know that many of them needed to go straight to the hospital, which is a pretty dire circumstance, it's not unlikely that a few of them may have perished.
I hope that you can see how important it is for the MSPCA's Law Enforcement Department to be there and how much we really need you to help support our work. Without the funds to do this, we're not going to be out there, and there's a lot of animals that are going to go without the proper care.
My name is Cynthia Cox, and I am the veterinarian for the MSPCA's Animal Care and Adoption Center here in Boston. Tiresias was in quite bad shape when she first came in. She had copious discharge from her eyes and her nose, and she was blind. When Mary Beth first came into the shelter and met Tiresias, there was definitely a good bond right from the beginning.
She was so sick that they had isolated her in with the dogs because they were afraid that she'd be contagious to the other cats.
She was not euthanized humanely because she had a good prognosis. I was reasonably certain that with appropriate medical and in her case surgical treatment she would do very well. She just seemed so relieved to be here and was so happy that it was clear that even though we would surgically need to remove her eyes, that she would do very well with that.
It's amazing, her will to live just really stunned us. She was just so incredibly sick and so incredibly pathetic, and is now just happy and healthy and loves life. It's just amazing. We love her.
There certainly every day animals come through the shelter that have conditions that if left untreated they would be in pain or discomfort on the street for a long period of time or probably succumb to their disease or injuries. This is certainly a unique place that they're able to come, that we accept everyone who comes in, and we're able to provide medical and surgical services for a lot of the animals that do come through here.
My name is Cecilia Marshall. I'm a veterinarian here at MSPCA Angel. I'm a second-year cardiology resident. Cosmo presented in September after the owner had noted a couple of collapse episodes, really like where he fainted.
Something was wrong because he wasn't responding to his name, and it would take him a few minutes before he would kind of be himself again.
When I did a physical exam on Cosmo, he seemed like a fairly normal lab. He was wagging his tail and seemed pretty bright and alert, but his heart rate was only about 60. And under the situation of being excited at the veterinarian's office, you would expect a dog of that size would be probably more like 100, 110 beats per minute.
The feeling that I got from her and her team was that everything was going to be okay. It was amazing.
Well, we put him through a series of diagnostic tests. The first one we did was just a physical exam, then we did an electrocardiogram, which diagnosed him with third-degree AV block, which is a condition that unfortunately the only reasonable therapy is pacemaker implantation.
It takes on a different context when someone's talking about your dog and saying, you know, this is something that you might need to consider.
We've implanted many pacemakers in dogs here at Angel on a yearly basis. We average about 10, and this year we have increased that number to probably about 12 or 13.
They really understand how important, you know, your pets are to you. They understand the depth of the connection, and I'm a single person and I live alone, and so Cosmo is extremely important to me, and he's been with me through a number of life changes. You know, I never imagined that I would get a pacemaker surgery for my dog. When you're faced with that decision of, you know, what are you going to do for your friend, you make it.
Over 130 years ago, we made a promise to protect animals, relieve their suffering, and prevent cruelty to help create a more compassionate society. That promise lives in our medical and adoption centers in and around New England. It lives in the faces of our veterinarians, volunteers, and board-certified doctors who provide the most advanced animal care in the world. It lives in the new 30,000 square foot building that we will dedicate this year. And that promise lives in you. We are eternally thankful for compassionate, caring donors like you, who are an essential part of why these animals are alive today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you very much.
I would definitely want to thank the MSPCA donors.
I would thank Dr. Marshall and everyone at Angel for giving me extra time with my best friend.
There are thousands of stories, and there will be thousands more. Thanks to your consistent, generous help, we will keep our promise and continue to make sure they end happily.